I'm Meg, this is Eric, and this is the Archives, where we discuss most things D&D, but everything that happened on our last episode of Disasters in Danger. Can you
Yes.
hear me in the back?
Yes, we can hear you.
Excellent. Eric, how you doing today?
Wonderful. I'm doing great. I'm back here in the hot seat. I got my map behind me. I got a camera in front of me, and we're doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing very well. Spent the
Good.
day watching my cat sleep.
The lucky bastard.
Yes, I am. So, yeah. Do you have any news before we get started? I have a few things.
I don't have anything in particular. Obviously, thank you to all of the people who make this show a wonderful thing that it is.
You're
Um,
welcome.
yes, and also Disasters in Danger. So, thank you everybody. Cody, Caitlin, all of everyone in the cast.
Kiss up. All right. So tomorrow night, Friday night, I do believe we are Diabloing some more as we crush through the season. Because so help us, we are going to get that damn little book pet. It's gonna happen.
I
We might have some more Darkening of Tristram stuff to do. I'm not entirely sure. I happen to finish all of mine. Toss, toss. Finally, I had one cultist page and one baddie left to kill after 2 years of it not being done. The great work has now been finished. So
finally.
finally. Then Sunday night, after dark, wink, we join Wisser as she plays Mass Effect Andromeda, I believe. So that's always a good time. And then on Mondays, we're back for some more Disasters and Danger.
Danger.
Hey, everybody. We have a bunch of new shows that we are getting started. I know that Cody is currently working on looking into some cyberpunk stuff.
Yeah.
Not Shadowrun, but cyberpunk, which is better. And we've been discussing some other games possibly happening sooner or later this year, as soon as we figure out what just exactly how much of a sequel 2021 is going to be.
Yeah, once we figure out what this year is.
Because I'll be honest, it's only January. It's only July 14th, y'all. It's only January 14th.
We're 14 days in, and I've seen things I never thought I'd see. So,
Was it things you wouldn't believe? Something on the moons of something. It's all
oh,
rain, tears in the rain. Um, so yes, please stay tuned. I mean, obviously to this, but please keep an eye on our Twitch. If you are not a member of our Discord, the
why
easiest way to
wouldn't
do
you
that,
be?
because it's delightful, and the
I know.
memes. My
Chef
lord.
kiss
If the easiest way to do that is to become a subscriber
on Patreon.
on Patreon,
A little
even
as
at just a
$1, right?
dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah. That also, so it's $12 for the entire year, which even with a stimulus check we could all afford. It
Wait,
also gives
which one?
automatically enters you into all drawings that we have for character art, for dice, which I will be discussing some more in just a moment, maps, shirts, pins, all of that good stuff. And sometimes we have Patreon exclusives, like Cody's A to Z Monstrosity show. Eric, you talk now. Tag,
Um,
you're it.
Bam. So yeah, that's our A to Z monstrosity show that she was just talking about. That is where you go behind the scenes with our illustrious DM Cody Stone, and you build some unforgettable encounters. And he goes through essentially every bit of the monster manual, and he takes that and makes just a bug nuts legendary encounter with that creature. I think the last one they did the animated armors. We did beholders, and I think the next one he was saying is a gazer. I think.
He's in the Beholder family.
Yeah. I think he was saying
So
there was Gazer and Death
Death
some
Tyrants,
Death
and I feel
Tyrant.
like there's one more, but that might just be me thinking a Grell is a type of beholder, and I don't know if it is or not.
I'm not sure, but yeah. So again, and as you said, just $1 a month on the Patreon, you get into the Discord and you get Patreon exclusives like A to Z monstrosities, which I think it was right before the end of the year. We actually did a couple of those on the Twitch stream just for everybody, and I got to watch it for the first time, and it was fantastic.
Yeah. Also, for those of you who have been watching Keeping Up with Disasters a little bit, the big bad that we just fought, Velxer, the vein nightmare monster man, whatever the hell his old title was, he was actually created on A to Z Monstrosities. So if you want to kind of have like a heads up of what we might be running into, watch A to Z Monstrosities. Or if you're a new DM, old DM, any level, and you're wanting to learn how to tweak some of your encounters a little bit, this is an excellent way to figure out how to do that. That's one of my problems when I DM is scaling.
Oh yeah.
It's hard. It's really hard. DMs don't get enough credit, kids. It's not just fancy accents and telling you no.
I mean, it's so difficult because you can so easily be like, I'm just going to tweak this little part and give him this little thing, and then it completely just breaks the encounter, and your guys are going down left and right, and you're like, what have I done?
And you don't know. And you don't know. And
Nope.
then there is the whole, dice thing of it.
Oh, these, that brings us to our one of our lovely sponsors, actually. Ah, see, that was a good segue. I like that. Good open right there. Yeah, we have our lovely sponsors for Disasters and Dangers, which is Norse Foundry. They are a fantastic company which makes amazing dice, gemstone dice, metal dice, and we actually they are sponsoring us. And if you go ahead to link that we just posted into the stream, you can actually get you can get dice on there, and is it we get a little bit of a what they get? Is it like 10% off?
15.
15,
If you
15.
use the code REPRPG, 15% off on your dice. And I know that a lot of us in Discord today were discussing new dice. People were like, the dice porn channel was particularly active.
Hmm.
So please let me remind you that we have a way for you to get some outstandingly beautiful dice for
Just
15% off.
ridiculous dice.
And dice boxes. Hold on, let me
Yeah, show the
winter showcase
amazingness.
this.
Yeah.
Had it for a year, still smells like cedar.
Cedar chest. Oh, I still can't get over that spell book. I think that is fantastic, especially when it opens. Yeah, no, that's just great. Ooh, glow in the dark dice. I've never had those, but I'd be up for trying it.
Matthew has some,
Oh, does he?
and it's always like, I know that he does because he will sit next to me. This is when we used to be at table 10,000 years ago.
Oh, jeez, what's
He
that
would
like?
like, he would cup his hands and hold them under the table, and we would look at them like we were 3-year-olds. Look
Because
at clothes.
it's funny because as I said, I would get a set of those dice. Like you start talking, and I was just like, but when would you use them? Because like you're never going to be in a completely dark room playing Dungeons and Dragons, going, thank God these are glow in the dark. Now I can see the numbers.
That's not the point.
uh, but with that, let's start talking about disasters and danger and what happened on Monday.
What the hell we did.
Oh my God.
My God.
Well, we'll start off with the beginning. Woke up at camp and we heard some approaching hoof steps. Clip clop, clip clop. It sounded like 1,000 King Arthurs coming at us. Yes, exactly. And uh, we realized we were about to be approaching some centaurs.
My little pony, my little pony.
Now these were this was big for Tauroth's story. Tauroth's background, because his what was it? His family was robbed by a group of centaurs. Yes.
They took the family sword, the oaken blade.
Oh yes, Tauroth Oakenblade. They took the Oakenblade. Well, they took one of them, correct? Because it's like
Yes, pair.
it's a pair. They took the one.
Yes,
Yeah, I think so.
yes.
I think because I think I remember him saying the other one's at home.
Yes.
Um, and so we decided that we were going to meet up with the centaurs. We figured we were kind of going to go in similar directions to the centaurs. Um, a lot of guttural names with these centaurs. Yeah,
Which makes sense.
it it does. It doesn't make it easier to pronounce. I mean, Cody's got them because they're his names. But yeah, it does not make it easier to pronounce whatsoever. Um, but yeah, we start talking to the centaurs. We decide to do things peacefully, which is a good change for us. Well, no, we've often decided to do things peacefully. Thankfully, they agreed to those peaceful terms. Um, and then we were ambushed.
By what?
Uh, water T Rexes. Three of them. Yeah, three water T Rexes. Normally, apparently, they come to this pond and they get three. They get like they'll catch a water T Rex and like carve it up and be like, "Oh, it's meat's back on the menu, boys." Um, but this time there were three of them, which is not good apparently, and so we had to take care of that by virtue of beating a thing. Now, how did that go for you, Meg?
Me personally, I mean, uh, as a finner, I'm always enthused to put another terror reptile back in the ground where they belong. So honestly, for Megan, it was a very chill night.
Okay, and Saride?
Well, she was unconscious for like the first 10 seconds of it. So who's to say?
Oh my god. I like when he sat there and he said to us, two like a giant lizard appears, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna like distract it, and that way like Talroth has time to get up to it, and you know, and we get Treasure up there and Olaroon, and we get our heavy hitters, the people designed to take a hit, like we get them up there, and this will be great. And then, if I'm not mistaken, Saride dimension doored two of the squishiest people directly. You're pretty squishy.
I am, but you do realize that Talroth has to be in melee
Well, yes, yes, he does. I
with a
fully
partner. With a partner.
yes,
So here was my thinking, right? Because and I'll be honest, what is it, Thursday?
it
So for the
is.
last 4 days, I've been stomping around the house, maybe complaining about this to no one, right? If these walls could talk. So my thing was he has to have someone to have sneak attack.
Yes.
And he had to get up there. It was going to take him a hot second to get up there, right?
Yeah.
I can get him up there now, and I can be with him so that he gets sneak attack on his next round.
Perfect.
However, I will have you know that very early on in my stomping around and complaining, I also had the conversation with myself. Like almost mid rant, I interrupted myself and was like, yeah, you got to get him. I mean, he is a rogue, so he has like dash and run much and, just, oh, fuck. He probably could have gotten there and like lesson around by himself. Shit.
And then he got chomped and immediately knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I
And honestly, the only reason was because I didn't heal myself before. If I had been at full health, I would have been fine. So, play of the week.
yeah, that was fun. I thought you were dead.
Listen, it's the Coulson theory of team building,
You need
right?
that
I have
one
to give you
death,
guys something to avenge.
something to fight for. No,
And if you're not going to do it for me, do it for the fact that if I die while Thozin's not on the field, he will kill all of you
well, but
with a smile on his face.
that's where my head was because um, like mechanically, I'm thinking to myself because right after that, you failed your first death save, and so my only thought process is this next turn that this thing takes, he does a bite action with you in there. That's an automatic hit. It's an automatic crit, which is two failed death saves, and that's dead Saride. And so my like every bit, and then also if you fell and took fall damage,
Yep.
that was two death fails. And so like the entire time I'm just like, we have to heal, we have to get to Saride. That is the only thing that matters right now.
Well, and then I was having similar thoughts when Sirach was in the hot seat of
Of the
T
T-Rex
Rex's
mouth.
mouth.
Yeah, oh my, I was at full health. I didn't even participate in the last like two games. I was at full health and he one-shotted me with an at 20.
Because it was something
Ridiculous.
like what? Like 60,
It was
12?
it was like 82 damage. It was like 75, 77 damage or something like that.
It
But
was just shy of being your full double.
no, it wasn't that. No, cuz I have 68.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Um
saying. Like it was kind of shy of that.
oh yeah, it was shy of that, but it just it knocked me for a loop. And then I failed my first death save, and all I could think to myself was, one bite attack and I'm gone.
And that's why I was standing there and I was like, okay, just featherfall the motherfucker. We got this. We got this. Like, just get him to let it go and it'll be fine and I can catch something.
Oh my god, that was there. The moment he said you take 77 damage, I was just like, okay, so how am I gonna roll a new character? What do I want him to do? What do we need filled? What part do we need filled here? Like, I just that's where my mind immediately went because I'm just like, Sirach's dead. Sirach's gone.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought the same thing too, because I was like, well, I have that gunsling in the back. Nah, because we don't have any healers. I have to still be a healer. Man, does this mean I have to be a druid
Which
again?
was
I want to be a druid again. Fuck.
which was
So,
exactly where I was going, and I was like, what kind of utility healer could I end up being? I could probably pull something off like that. What is in the Maestro's cage? Oh, back here. Also, thank you for calling me Maestro. It's a title that I do not deserve. Um, so back here are actually the travel cages for my fiance and I. We have two birds, one of them very large and angry with me, and the other very small and happy with me. But those are their travel cages to get them around if we're going somewhere we need to take them to the vet.
I remember a friend told me, I'm always very self conscious when people tell me they have pets, because someone told me that she and her boyfriend had adopted a dog. And they had genuinely been looking for a dog to bring home for
Yeah.
a long time. Like it had to fit certain qualifications because of where they lived and their health stuff and this, that, and the other thing. So it wasn't just like go down to the shelter and grab something. Like they had to find a very specific type. So they'd finally gotten this dog, and I said, "Oh my God, congratulations! I know you guys have been trying for a while." And she just looked at me and she's like, "Megan, it's not a child."
No, it like I don't like being that person that's just like, these are my fur babies and I will get them into the correct doggy daycare so they have a full and compelling life. I'm not that level, but I
Well,
will.
they're also birds, so don't put them at a doggy daycare.
Well, I'm also thinking of the dog that is sitting right next to me as well. Yeah, we have two dogs. But yeah, so yeah, no, those birds. So we have the large double-headed Amazon, double yellow-headed Amazon. Only one head, just very yellow. Um, the double is for the yellow, not the head part. And he hates me, utterly hates me. Um,
Always or just right now?
no, no, consistently. Because so no, my fiance got this bird when we were first like dating, uh, and so I wasn't here quite as often as I am now, and so to help ingratiate herself to the bird, she would literally sit there with her phone up on Facebook feed and go, "Megan says it's a fun day today. We should see what happens next." Alex says, and she would just talk to this bird for hours because it helps keeps the minds going and it keeps them engaged. But the problem was it got this bird so engaged that he is in love with her. And the problem is now every time I'm here, he's just like, "That's interesting. You're right next to my boo. You got your arms on my boo. We gonna have a problem if I get out of this cage." Like every time I walk by, he like chomps at the cage, and it's just like he wants me to know. And this was never more apparent than he had been like very aggressive towards me, but we've been able to like have him on Sydney's shoulder or have him out. And so one time she had him on her shoulder. We're sitting on the couch, and he comes off of her shoulder onto the couch, and he starts inching over towards me. And so I'm like real still, and she looks at me and she goes, "Eric, he's curious about you." I said, "Yeah?" She goes, "Yeah. Don't move. Let him check you out." I was like, "Okay, okay, cool, cool, cool." And she also said, very important, she said that birds are like 3-year-olds. And in the same way, if you make a funny face and a 3-year-old laughs, the bird's like, "Ha ha ha, do it again." So they're like, if the bird bites or anything, don't yell, don't make a noise, because if they think it's funny, they'll just bite you again because they want you to make noise. So I was like, okay, I got to be real calm, got to be cool. So I'm sitting there like, stoic.
Don't scream while it bites you?
Oh, yeah, yeah, no, 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 don't scream. And so this bird comes over. He comes up to my arm, stands on my shoulder. Then in periphery, I see his face turn to me, and then he just bites my cheek. And I'm just like, and in a very as calm, cool, and collected voice I can, I go, "He's biting my cheek. He's biting my cheek." And she's like, "He's not biting your, oh my God, he's biting your cheek." And so it was after that that we were like, maybe we don't let him explore Eric.
Have you broken it to him that you guys are gonna get married?
I
How did he take it?
he was not happy. He was not about it. Like he thought about it for a minute, and then he's like, it was like me when Cole told us that he was going to be, taking his move, and I was like, nah, nah, a good try, but I'm not about it. So like, it's not happening, I guess. So we were talking about a D&D stream that we do.
Right. So it's very similar to that time that Sirach was in a T Rex's mouth.
Yeah, where I was in a bird's mouth. So yeah, I totally thought I was dead. I thought that was the end of Sirach. Um, but we were able to come out of there, and we got some halfling-sized teeth out of the T-Rex, which I'm sure we'll use those eventually. Just the weirdest like surfer bro necklace ever. Just like the braided, and then it's just got like the puka shells and the shark teeth, but it's just a halfling sized.
Yeah, we both went to different markets with that one. So yeah, some of you can make surfer necklaces. I went straight to just dildos.
I mean, if it's a tooth, you got to think more butt plug.
Well, it tapers, right? I'm not saying the whole thing has to go in.
No, no, God, no. That would be that would be excessive.
Thank you. We agree.
Oh,
So the point is, we got some T-Rex steaks,
some T-Rex steaks. Yep.
which I'm actually excited about. I don't know why, because it's not like I'm gonna get to eat them, but I'm just excited that we have them. We had a bit of a dinner with the centaurs.
Yep. Pretty
And
rowdy, pretty musical. I will say something that Cody kept saying, which I didn't ask but stuck with me, was the entire time he's explaining like all the music and all the frivolity and everything that's happening. He goes, but they're not playing the drums. But they're not playing the drums. You know, it's funny. But they're not playing the drums. And I was just like, I hear you. I need to know why I hear you, but I hear you.
they're stomping their hooves,
No, because he said they have like drums, like drum corps, like boom, boom, boom drums.
but they weren't playing them.
Well, that's the thing. He's like, they were playing them before.
Were they warning drums?
I don't know. But he
Okay, so
was,
now we have questions.
yes. But that's what I'm saying. Like the entire time, he was just like, he was just kind of like, yeah, but they're not playing their drums. And we're like, okay, but what? But no one asked, why aren't they playing their drums?
Now, Eric, I will ask you in your varied and storied years of playing D&D, how many centaur civilizations have you come into contact with? So I will say this is my first one.
Um,
Um,
no, go on. Sorry.
no, and I'm intrigued. Like this is a very different kind of thing, and the only thing I keep likening it to is the centaurs in Warcraft because they're the only ones I know
So the,
that are tribal. Like I'm aware
yeah.
that there are other centaurs in mythology and shit,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they usually don't run in herds.
No, we're not bringing up Chiron and everything.
Yeah, because that he just liked hanging out with grad students.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
just
I
him
still
with
I still love the Percy Jackson Charon. Such a great book series.
Percy Jackson got almost everything right.
Yeah, with like, and it, I never read the rest of them, but like cuz he went on, Rick Royden went on to write like Greek mythology ones and Roman
Roman
mythology.
mythology.
He
Yeah,
also wrote a Greek mythology one, didn't he?
he started with Greek.
Not Greek, Egyptian. He wrote one with Egyptian mythology.
There we go.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Um, and I can only imagine they get everything just as ridiculously spot on about it, but I've not given those the time as much. I read through the
It,
entire Percy Jackson series, but
it's like reading Lore Olympus right now.
yeah,
As a Greek geek, it is so fulfilling to see everyone's roles correctly.
speaking of
Anyway,
roles portrayed correctly, Hades is fantastic. If you don't have it, play it. Like, get it, then play
Hades?
it. Hades,
Oh, the
it's
game.
the game, the roguelike. So good.
I've heard nothing but good things. I've seen nothing but beautiful artwork, and the fact that Matt Mercer tweeted, he's like, "This is the first game I've played in a very long time where I want to fuck everyone in it." He said it much more classily than that. Um,
I mean, no, definitely.
but I'm like, okay, this is, and we all know me. That's my stamp. It's like, yeah, but can I put my dick in it?
But no, it's fantastic game in the same way it gets like really great characters, and like you feel things for all these people.
It's just for the new systems, though, right? The five.
So it's out on Steam. It's on the Nintendo Switch. It's definitely out for like Xbox and PlayStation, I'm sure.
I think it is just at least for PlayStation, just for the 5.
I would be incredibly surprised if it was, but I'll take your word for that.
Please don't. I don't know what I'm talking about. The
But no,
centaurs. So have you
centaurs.
had a lot of interaction with centaur tribes?
No, I really haven't. Aside from Harry Potter and the meme of what would happen if a mermaid and a centaur just had a kid, and it just
Human.
ended up being a human who was
I'd be
just
so
like,
pissed. I'd be so pissed.
like
I would be so
you're
pissed.
just walking around and mom's a mermaid, dad's a centaur, and you're just sitting here just walking around like a normal goddamn person.
Because all of my mom's family would then call me horseface, and all of my dad's family would comment about my fishy nethers.
Yeah, I mean, consistently. So as we talk with them, um, Talroth goes ahead and describes his family's sword that was stolen by a group of centaurs, and they seem to know this sword, which belongs to the leader of the centaurs, because of course it does. Uh,
Wouldn't it be super shitty if he's like looking for his family's sword, this weapon that embodies his family's honor, and it is the one thing he must have to solidify his birthright? Who has it? I think Jerry the stable boy. Jerry, you got that sword? I think I got it in my bag. So yeah, Jerry, I'll grab it for you real quick. How fucking shitty would that be?
oh, you made this, you know. Oh gosh,
Why
yeah.
is it covered in cheese? It's my cheese sword. Good job, Jerry.
It just uses it to cut cheese. Oh, it's like I never use it without my salt block. Just puts the cheese on, cuts.
See, at least Velxer had the good taste and manners to throw Dawnbringer down a hole. He wasn't using it for something stupid. He hadn't given it to like troll number 7. You know what I mean?
And so, um, I thought this was really interesting because I'm like describing the timeline that's getting thrown around here. Are they not actually the Oaken Blades? Because like so the timeline that's getting thrown around that Cody's saying here is like they were they it seems to me that the centaurs had them and then they lost them like 150. They lost, no, they just got them back like 150 years ago. I think it was like something around that when Talroth was a lot younger. Elves, yeah. And
I'm not sure how old Talroth is. I know he's younger than Suride. I don't I don't feel like he's hit 100 yet. I don't feel like he's hit a century yet.
I'm just I so then this might just be me putting like my own thought process on it, because I like when I DM, I kind of like to maybe make people suffer a little bit, and so like morally suffer, not like actually suffer, but like play around with
Oh,
their.
that's so much better, Eric. Thank you.
Yeah, but like the idea that like these swords that his family has put so much intention and so much thought process towards, and like these are the oaken blades, they are the antithesis of us as a family, and it turns out that they were stolen from the centaurs, or they were like fought for from the centaurs, and so maybe they like by the laws of the centaurs they were his, but the centaurs are just taking them back in a way, and so I don't know.
I That's interesting. Like, I would have to look at the I would have to look at the timeline on that one. If I wasn't so busy looking at my cat all day, perhaps I would have gotten some damn work done. But um, but that's the thing, right? Even if it was stolen from the centaurs, that's part of theirs now, and a lot of um, he's not here, so I can say stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of there's a lot of pride tied up in those swords for the family,
yeah,
and it is a big point for Talroth to get them back and get them first. He
Is it?
has a
Does he have other people going for him?
he has a sibling that might be, but get the feeling in conversations that Sarai and Talroth have had that the sibling is the good one and Talroth is the spare.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't just radiate big spare energy,
No, I mean,
um,
you're not wrong. You are
yeah,
not wrong.
yeah, there are so many moments in this game as more and more of us start to talk and divulge backstory things, and I realize we really should just rename the whole group Daddy Issues.
But also, maybe?
It's not the worst thing in the world,
No, no.
but it also kind of feels like that moment in Critical Role when they're talking to Tyrion and he breaks down about how his dad doesn't like him, and they're like, "Daddy issues? Oh, you son of a bitch! Come here! That's all
Come
you had to
here,
fucking
you're
say.
part of the
Yeah,
group.
you're one of us. Let's
You
go."
should have said.
Yeah, it's like whatever problems we may have with each other, because Sarai definitely has some issues with Talroth. I'm sorry, daddy issues? You feel like you have some honor that you need to reclaim? What's up, bro? What's
Fam,
up? What's
say no
up?
more. Get in here, you know? Yeah. I don't necessarily know if I don't know if I would characterize Sirach as having like daddy issues or like family issues, but it's sort of like, but it is sort of like honor-ish sort of thing. Because as I'm finding out right now, with what you were saying about Yan Bin, well, no, because you were talking to him and
Yes.
you were saying that when one of them is defeated, they're sent back to their plane. And so I'm wondering if that's what got, like, that was the crazy cataclysmic event that got that dealt with Sirach's family getting, Sirach's like great grandparents getting expelled from the plane of elemental air. Wonder if it
When would that have been?
uh we're talking like 70, 80 years ago. That's why I'm like, when you were like saying those timelines and Cody was talking, I was like, is is this about the time frame
So my old home character may have kicked your grandparents out of the air of elemental plane,
of that?
but I do want it to be very clear that it was not on purpose.
No, but no, that was always my backstory was that his parents got not his, I believe it was, I want to say great grandparents,
Yeah, because they don't have that long to
30
live.
years.
Yeah.
30
I'm
years.
like, that's okay. You're gonna drink a god potion and live forever. It's been decided. Thank you.
Okay. But no, I was like that they got kicked out, and originally my story that I had gone with was it was something to do with the like the ending of the last campaign where we had that giant god fight and that just shook things up and that's how his family got ejected. But when I was talking with Cody, he's like, you know what? Something happened a little bit ago that we can say you'll just have to add a couple of generations on there. And I was like, that works. And now I'm finding out what it is.
Hmm. You either die a hero or you live long enough to
To see the
realize that,
consequences of your actions.
yeah, of just what saving the world costs you, kids.
Amazons. No, Cole, not those type of Amazons. We are talking about Amazon parrots, Cole. But
And Cole, drink some water and fluff your pillows. Not a
ex-
euphemism, your actual
no,
pillows.
the actual pillows. That boy. Love you, Cole. I'm gonna
Let
miss
me
you.
do. Could you imagine if that's what I had meant though? Like drink some water and just fluff your pillows.
Eh,
Man, we're in public.
Fluff them pillows. Sorry. wrong pillows. So we're finding out, and so we talked with them. We made a decent enough impression, saving them from dino lizards, that they are going to give us a scout to take us to where the leader is. I got the impression we aren't getting like a writ of invitation. We are just getting a he's this way.
We might get an escort for like a hot second, but yeah, it's not going to be a. It's more like, so this is the forest of no return. Have fun.
Bye bye. Watch out for the fire swamp. You
Sorry, what?
know.
What? Horsey, come back! So yeah, horsey, come
And
back.
that's kind of that is kind of where we left off. Um, which is a good place. We now know kind of what our next step is. I still, and I get that we have a timeline, and I know that we're working this out with Cody, but I still don't know how we're going to catch up to everyone at the Forge without doing like triple time to get there.
Okay, first of all, do you really think that they're having a smooth travel experience?
God no, those like giants trying to get him to go over like every straight line path.
Between the leader of the wildlings and Wyatt constantly bickering, like the best married couple. Honestly, I ship it. I hope those kids make it. But them trying to figure out fast versus direct, and honestly, girls, isn't that always the question? So, trying to figure out the best way to go. But it's not like they're going over empty plains of nothing. Like they're skirting very close to the destroyed land,
Yep.
to that old tower. They've got some. They got some stuff.
They got some stuff. I just like in the back of my mind, I'm just like, they're getting further away, and they just keep getting further away. And are we gonna like? Because I know that's something that like in the at least the games that I've played with Cody, like the timeline matters, and you can miss things. You can like sincerely like, well, you weren't there. Like this cool shit happened, but you weren't there. You were doing this other cool shit.
I will say, because we have been asking
Hmm.
and double checking, and we've been very clear about, well, we want to go to the
The
forge. We
Forge,
want
yeah.
to be there. Which just also, if we have the ability to do this, and he's been very forthcoming about, yeah. And I will say this for Cody as a DM, he doesn't lie about shit like that.
No, no, definitely not. Oh my god, the amount of travel we did in the last campaign and be like, yeah, but do we have time to do that? Yeah, you have time. Okay.
We were mostly on water last time.
Yeah, boats everywhere. And then sometimes elemental ships.
Oh my god. But now we're just climbing over Rocky Mountain. Blah, 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 blah,
Pop,
blah,
pop,
blah.
pop.
Yep, we're living our
And
best Pirates of Penzance life.
charge! Ow! Yeah,
Oh, monster!
I am.
Oh,
I'm
also,
definitely.
I have Charm Monster, and my first thought was charm the T-Rex, make it fight for us. And then I was like, nah, that's stupid. Dimension door to that motherfucker with talk. That's a good idea. That's a good use of that spell slot. Let's do that instead. So,
Make it like me. I don't know about that. Get right in its face. Seems like a plan. It's like the Jordy meme, the followed by the. Ah, of course I use the Star Trek version of that meme because I'm a nerd. But we're all nerds here.
I just don't like using what's his face because he's
LeVar
gross.
Burton.
No, I love LeVar Burton.
Thank you.
No, the one with Chris Brown because Chris
Oh
Brown's
yeah,
gross.
yeah. Chris Brown is gross. But yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. That's kind of the wrap up of it, if I do say
We
so.
did find out that Talroth has taken a level in Ranger,
That's right. He has. Some of the
and
practice
I'm looking
sessions
forward
have been paying
to
off.
talking to him about that some more. But look at that, you're rubbing off on someone.
I tell ya. And I'm loving that favored foe ability from Tasha's he was talking about.
No, no, explain that to me again.
Okay, so I think it's kind of I think it's kind of like favored enemy mixed um with Hunter's Mark. And so for a minute you can designate something as your favored foe. And then your first, I believe it lasts for 1 minute, and I believe it's the first attack does an extra d6 of damage, if I'm not mistaken.
That was sick. Yeah, it felt like, well, like I can, like, clerics and druids and stuff can change out their spells every day. It felt like that. Like, I change out my favorite enemy whenever I want to because I hate the world, which is so fucking metal.
It really is. Yeah, it's favored foe, because of course I'm looking up things.
You know, Tasha's memorized. What the hell?
Yeah, jeez. It came out like what, a week ago? I mean, maybe like 3 weeks ago. I clearly should have had the entire thing memorized. Okay. Yeah, no, it's an interesting little addition to Hunter, to Ranger, because Ranger is kind of, it's like almost, it's a forgotten class sometimes. Like people are like, you have Rogue, you have Cleric, and then everyone's like Druid, and they're like, what's that thing between Rogue and Druid? I can never quite and it's Ranger.
Well, because for a very long time, let's be honest, Ranger was broken, and not in a good way. Ranger
No.
was just kind of really shitty.
Yeah.
And one of the best things that Crit Roll ever gave us was Vexalia the Ranger, that shone this very bright light on all of the pitfalls that are in the Ranger class, especially Beastmaster.
Mm-hmm.
So, or if you're gonna have a pet familiar. So, like,
Trinket. Yeah.
yeah. So I think getting getting that and then getting all the rewrites and everything that's been sent out, it's a lot cleaner. And now there's a lot, like, when did Planeswalker come out?
Planeswalker, I want to say it was, I think it was like an Unearthed Arcana. I don't know when it came out, but when I was looking at my stat build out for Sirach, I was just like, this is a very rangery stat block. And I was looking at the ranger ones that were in there, and I was like, let's see what other ranger subclasses are out there. And that's when I
Really?
found
Because
Horizon Walker.
if you're, I mean, and Horizon Walker is fucking beautiful, and you've done such a great job with his backstory, making it a part of it.
Yeah, well,
You know,
because it gets really cool. Like, I cannot wait for level 11, because once level 11 hits, I get to bamf in between attacks. Like, legitimately, once
as
level
someone
11,
that bamfs, let me tell you.
like once level 11 hits, it's literally, I can move to where I would need to be, shoot, bamf, shoot again, bamf, and if my two shots that I shot were to different targets, I can make a third attack. Yeah, it gets real crazy, but you have to. But it's a lot of. But you got to get up there. So it really kind of, like, it really has a really interesting progression, and so it does kind of allow for that story-wise progression in its different, in the different abilities.
So we have a question in the chat.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, we
Yeah.
do. Do you want me to ask it since it is to you?
Oh, please.
Megan, you may remember during the game after the Tyrannosaurus fight, when Sirach had 14 hit points, um, that uh, Olaroon came up to heal Saride, and Saride refused him. What was that about?
I'm so glad you asked. Thank you. Um, so ever ever since the last episode of 2020, when Dawnbringer, with Dame Dawnbringer, excuse me, she earned that title.
She did.
That's right, Dame Dawnbringer, OBS. almost killed her, Saride, it's become very clear to her that that is who Olaroon takes marching orders from. And he can have as many loud conversations as he wants about who's in charge and all of that, but she knows abusive relationships when she sees them because she's been in them. And he's carrying around something remarkably unstable that almost killed her. It dropped her down to 14 hit points. And that's part of why she didn't heal herself either, was so she could, I'm hurt because of your stupid fucking sword. That you keep saying, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And if you want to run into a door frame, that's on you. But you're making the rest of us run into them now as well. So she's far less interested in forgiving about it. And Olaroon is a man now. She's not the little boy that he's not the little boy that she taught, or even the young man that when we started this adventure, he has become far much more of a grown-up. And part of being a grown-up is owning what you do. And if this is something that he wants, and this is something that he's willing to utilize all of our energies and time for to make sure he gets it, then he has to be the one to bear the responsibility for it. But at the moment, she's a little salty.
A little bit salty.
little bit salty. And if his healing comes from the sword, she doesn't want it.
Of all the flavors, you chose salty. So
she's buttery?
Nah, I'm going with salty. It works. So that's a really good answer. That's really intense. That's good to know though.
I don't give any other kind, Eric.
No, I'm telling
like,
you.
I really wish it could be as simple as like, why did you say no to my healing? Oh fuck, man, I didn't hear you. I thought you said, do you want healing? I was like, no, I don't like heals. They're weird. You ever seen how to prepare them? You grab their tail out of the tank and then you swing and hit them against the sideboard. That's fucked up. I don't like it. I wish it could be that simple. I wish I was capable of simplicity. I'm not.
I'm sorry.
I'm an actor. I'm a writer. I haven't been on stage in like 3 years.
Oh my god.
I will take you all down with me.
And honestly, like I will say there is something that is I don't know if I want to say easier, but there's something that it hits different when you're able to, like when you're improvising and you're role playing and you're like right next to the person or you're looking them physically in the eyes and you're in the same room and there's that feeling, there's that like there's something that, and I cannot wait to be able to get back into that.
Now that you're saying it, and I realize I keep comparing us to Crit Roll because
I mean, we all look as good, so.
Hold on. Good night, Helmar. Get some sleep. Sweet
Bye.
dreams. When we get back in the studio, it's going to be like when they did. And honestly, I completely understand that energy based on what you just said right now.
Yeah.
Remember that first episode when they were back? They were distant, but it was just wrangling horny cats.
Like they all.
And they weren't even necessarily horny for each other. They were just. It was
horny
a
for
room
the game
of middle schoolers. I'm gonna put a dick on it. Okay, yeah, Jester, we get it. That's it. No, it's Caleb. I'm gonna put a dick on it. Caleb, don't put a dick on things. It's not in character. It is now. I don't know. Like everyone was just kind of. It's gonna be the same damn thing. And honestly, when it happens, I will have a referee shirt, a whistle, and flags ready for Cody.
Foul on the
Flag
play.
on the field. Oh, come on. Fuck it. All right, fine, whatever.
I didn't want to do it anyway. Fine, I don't kiss Hunter's mark on the penis. Fine.
What?
So if you cast Hunter's Mark at like 3rd level or something, you can like know something's position for like 24 hours. And I always want to know where that dick was. Just boom, Hunter's Mark, and I'm fine.
So what I'm hearing is I'm taking a level in Ranger.
You're gonna have to. Well, yeah, you can cast up. So yeah, just a level in Ranger. Get that Hunter's Mark.
That's okay. I know where that dick is. It's fine. So moving
Just
on.
a call away. Thousand.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited to see the progression of the relationship between Thosen and Saride, going from like middle schooler looking at the oh my god it's so hot it's so hot, but like going from that to like actually having a conversation with him where you weren't almost wetting yourself, followed by look, you had like 100. You had like 5 times where you were talking with him, and you're just like twirling around and like just springs everywhere.
He and I have had conversations.
No, now that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The
I was like,
progression has gotten there. I'm saying like from the beginning to now has been like a really fun progression to see between the two of you guys.
God bless that poor man. He
For
put up with so
putting up
much
for
from me. In and out of game.
Just imagine 3 a.m. texts on Discord. Hey, I had an idea.
Oh, so you've seen them.
His husband just hears the Discord notification. It's like, oh my god, again.
She wants you, Carla, just fucking answer her. She'll shut up and go away. And then this is a terrible thing that I know from an old game that I played where things progressed very quickly. I played this game for maybe a week, but we would write in between,
Mm-hmm.
very like like it was almost play by post. And then when we do a meetup game for combat and stuff, I played twice, like a Sunday and a Sunday. And then in that week, she managed almost like 2 hours in. She fucked the tiefling bard. My girl did, the little druid girl. And 3 hours later was pregnant because tieflings gestate very quickly, and this is how I know this. They gestate within 3 months, full term. And when they're born, they come out roughly the size and mental capacity of a 3-year-old.
No, thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. It's not coming out of you. My God, can you imagine the horns? Although I did have this realization. That's why calves don't have horns. They come out with those little nubs because it would just fucking rip you up.
Yeah, the little nubbins. The little just
Nubbin, nubbin. Yeah. But so that's a thing I know is that it takes 3 months for tieflings to gestate. I may have sent that to him several times. Be like, just so you know,
just just some knowledge depending how far this goes. Just letting you know.
Yeah, like it's a thing. It's a thing. We've actually talked about it. What happens if she gets pregnant? Because it's something. Well, because it's something that Megan has been sort of fascinated with in a D&D campaign. I really like the idea of older women adventuring.
Yeah.
Maddie and Winifred were both well into mid 40s, 50s when they were in their prime.
Yeah.
When Winnie wrecked your family's life, she was definitely in her 50s. So, I like that trope, but I also kind of like the idea of a pregnant adventurer. And I've talked about it with Cody several times.
Oh God, my back.
Bringing a girl in that's already knocked up, so we don't have to worry about all that. And he's like, okay, just so you know, like if you make death saves, you're making it for the kid too. There's a possibility one or both of you can make it out and all this. I'm like, you know what? That's going to start getting really complicated and into things I don't want to discuss on stream. So, nope. And it's much easier just to say, if she gets pregnant, she's out for 3 months.
I really like the idea that like I'd say every morning, but when we have we wake up and we're all just sitting there and it's like Cody's like, all right, you all come, you wake up, you're getting to breakfast. Hey Meg, roll me a percentile, and you're just like, oh son of a bitch.
Well, and then that was the other conversation we had. Home game, when my girl started seeing someone, I was like, so do I make these checks? And he's like, no, magical birth control exists. It's like, we're not going to play this game. It's totally fine. Because,
So only because you just said magical birth control, and we were talking about the Greek histories and the Greek mythologies. Did you know of the Greek plant that went extinct? That was like a
they
100.
fucked it into extinction
Yeah, it
because
was
it
a
was perfect
100%
birth control.
effective birth control, and they used all of it.
We only know, actually, I didn't know that it was Greeks. I thought it was the Romans.
Was it the? It was one
I
of the
mean,
two.
honestly, that's just,
Yeah,
I feel like a huge, I'm
Remus,
so,
Lupin, who knows? You know.
Hufflepuff, Hufflepuff. But like, the only reason we know it exists is because of books that have said, "Oh yes," and then they would go and get the mama, and it was perfect. And we're like, "Where's my mama? Can we get my mama back?"
No, Mamama does not exist anymore.
Fuck you, Rome. But we
Rome's
did, and that's why my mama doesn't
is
exist anymore.
gone. Like I just think that's so crazy. It was just like there was this herb slash flower slash something that grew right around Rome, and they were just like first of all, how do you figure that out? Because the first time's got to be an accident. Like you make a salad and you're like, this will be a nice topping on the salad, and then later on you're like, that's interesting. We didn't have a kid. How did that happen?
There's a okay. We're not gonna get into birth control on
No, no,
this right
no,
now.
but I'm
But we'll
just,
yeah, but like the scientific of that, there's so many factors when it comes to not getting pregnant, and how
well,
did you know it was that, and how did
exactly.
it's not like you would find out immediately. There's a long time. So, yeah,
What's the testing process you did to find out, and then to find out, oh yeah, no, this thing is pretty much 100% effective. That's just crazy. But yeah, magic birth control. We had it, and we used all of it.
and that fucking makes sense. Like that tracks for humanity.
For human race, yeah, 100%.
Just gonna say this. I think it's really interesting that about the time that declined, the Catholic Church showed up. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So anyway,
Oh, that's
now
one
that
of
we've
my.
been banned by everybody,
Is
and I
that
can.
is that They Might Be Giants? They have a counting song, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and one of them is about John and Katie are Catholic. They live in Dublin, and it says they don't use no prophylactic because it makes the pontiff frown. Count the kids: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and just a I. That's like really the only line from that song I remember, but I think it is fantastic.
I love They Might Be Giants. I got an extra credit question right in a theater history class for an exam. It's taught by a I couldn't give a fuck grad student. We all know those. They're like, I have to teach this. This is my last semester, and then I'm out of here.
He had big,
um,
almost out of here energy. Yeah.
yeah. But we would like learn a little bit of the history and then do how that affected the growth and change of theater for the era, obviously. So we were doing between Roman theater and Christian miracle plays because there was nothing because it was the Dark Ages. But we still had some questions on the history of it. And the extra credit question, very specifically worded, was why did Constantinople get the works?
That's nobody's
And I
business but the
paused
Turks.
because could I really be this fortunate to be getting this question? And I stopped and I looked around and like did brief glances. I wasn't like cheating. I didn't have to.
Yeah.
But I saw like everybody else was writing full on fucking essays. I'm like, well, I feel pretty good about the test, so if I lose an extra credit, I don't care. That's nobody's business but the Turks. Period. I was one of 2 people that got it right.
That's
and
one
of the guys in my class threw such a hissy fit about it. He's like, "What? That's bullshit. That wasn't on the test. That wasn't." or that wasn't in the class. We didn't go over that. And he's like, it's extra credit. It doesn't have to have been in the class. Calm down, Michael. Sit
Bro.
down. You only have one testicle. So, he didn't say that, but he should have.
Yeah, it was implied, which is that theater subtext you always want to go for. You don't say everything, but you imply some things.
That's what we learned in theater, right? Was how do you imply you only have one testicle but not say it?
Hmm. And I think with that piece of literature, to that little bit of information to ponder, I think that is probably where we're going to call it for tonight. I think we got off on some lovely tangents, and I think we talked about the story fantastically.
Kind of sorry, kind of not. Join us next week. We do
Indeed.
believe, or join us next week anyway, for more discussions about
The D&D
medieval
and
birth
whatever other
control.
tangents we end up going on.
But also next week, we will have Mars joining us.
We
So
will.
if you want to get Talroth's story from the horse's mouth, well, we're gonna get it from Talroth's because getting it from the horse's mouth might be rude, because of the centaurs.
And I thought you were talking about Olarune's shiny horse.
Oh, his shiny horse!
He's got a shiny
What's
horse.
his name? What's his shiny? It's like Zephyr.
Zephyrus. It
Zephyrius?
was like
Zephyros. Zephyros.
Zephyros. Yeah, it was.
It's Zephyros. Oh my God, Cole! I didn't get that until now.
What is Zephyros? I know Zephyr, the god of wind, but
Zephyros was a character from Storm King's Thunder.
oh, look at him. He
I
in
didn't get
chat.
that until well played.
Well,
Well
guys,
played.
thank
Cool.
you for joining us. Please make sure to. I was going to say join next week, but join next week. Join in Monday. Join in tomorrow. We got things going on all over the place.
Hit that like and subscribe.
Hit the. I don't like. We're literally on Twitch. I'm like, I don't know where. It's probably down here somewhere. But follow, subscribe, enjoy us, and we hope you have a wonderful time. And God, we really should think of a sign off for this.
We should.
And we'll do that next time. But see you later, guys.